Afternoon, children. Today we are going to learn the lesson The Rat Trap. The theme of the story The Rat Trap is that most human beings are prone to fall into the trap of material benefit. However, every human being has an essential goodness that can be awakened through understanding and love. A human being has the tendency to redeem himself from the dishonest ways. This story is set amidst the mines of Sweden, rich in iron ore, which figure large in the history and legends of that country. The story is told somewhat in the manner of a fairy tale. Once upon a time, there was a man who went around selling small rat traps of wire. He made them himself at odd moments from the material he got by begging in the stores or at the big farms. But even so, the business was not especially profitable. So, he had to resort to both begging and petty thievery to keep body and soul together. Even so, his clothes were in rags. His cheeks were sunken and hunger gleamed in his eyes. So, in the introduction itself, we are introduced to the rat trapper, okay? And he is the main central character of this chapter. He is called a peddler, okay? He is called a peddler. And what is his profession? He is used to sell small rat traps made of wire. And the income from that was not enough for him to survive, so he resorted to thievery also. No one can imagine how sad and monotonous life can appear to such a vagabond who plods along the road left to his own meditations. But one day, this man had fallen into a line of thought, which really seemed to him entertaining. He had naturally been thinking of his rat traps, when suddenly he was struck by the idea that the whole world about him, the whole world with its lands and seas, its cities and villages, was nothing but a big rat trap. It had never existed for any other purpose than to set baits for people. It offered riches and joys, shelter and food, heat and clothing, exactly as the rat trap offered cheese and pork. And as soon as anyone let himself be tempted to touch the bait, it closed in on him, and then everything came to an end. So, one day our peddler was having a very amazing thought, a philosophical thinking that the whole world is compared to a rat trap. Okay, it offers you riches, joys, shelter, food, heat, clothing, like the rat trap offers cheese and pork. He refers to the world, all the pleasures and leisures of the world as a bait. The world had, of course, never been very kind to him, so it gave him unbounded joy to think ill of it in this way. It became a cherished pastime of his. During many dreary ploddings, to think of people he knew who had let themselves be caught in the dangerous snare, and of others who were still circling around the bait. So he thought that nobody was so kind to him. So that's why he was having this negative attitude towards life. So he said that this slow progress is because that the people are caught in a rat trap in the pleasures of the world. One dark evening, as he was trudging along the road, he caught sight of a little grey cottage by the roadside, and he knocked on the door to ask shelter for the night. Nor was he refused. Instead of the sore faces which ordinarily met him, the owner, who was an old man without wife or child, was happy to get someone to talk to in his loneliness. Immediately, he put the porridge pot on the fire and gave him supper. Then he carved off such a big slice from his tobacco roll that it was enough both for the stranger's pipe and his own. Finally, he got out an old pack of cards and played joyless with his guest until bedtime. Now what happened? One dark evening, he was walking along the road. He caught sight of a grey cottage and he knocked the door. Actually, he was used to refusal, okay? But what happened that day was that old man in that cottage was really happy to welcome him because he was without wife or child, and he was happy to see someone to talk to in his loneliness. Immediately, he put the porridge pot on the fire. So he is making the porridge and he is offering him the tobacco and all those things. And they both played a card game of Sweden until bedtime. The old man was just as generous with his confidences as with his porridge and tobacco. The guest was informed at once that in his days of prosperity, his host had been a crofter at Ramsjö Ironworks and had worked on the land. Now that he was no longer able to do day labor, it was his cow which supported him. Yes, that Bosie was extraordinary. She could give milk for the creamery every day, and last month he had received all of 30 kroner in payment. So the old man is saying to this peddler about the days of his prosperity when he used to work under a crofter. Okay, crofter means a tenant who owns a small farm in Scotland. And the name of that factory was Ramsjö Ironworks. And now as he is old enough, he is not able to work in the factory. Now he is surviving because of his cow, which used to give milk for his survival, and he got 30 kroner as payment. The stranger must have seemed incredulous, for the old man got up and went to the window, took down a leather pouch which hung on a nail in the very window frame, and picked out 3 wrinkled 10 kroner bills. These he held up before the eyes of his guest, nodding knowingly. Now the stranger is moving to his leather bag and showing the 30 kroner note. Then stuffed them back into the pouch. The next day both men got up in good season. The crofter was in a hurry to milk his cow, and the other man probably thought he should not stay in bed when the head of the house had gotten up. They left the cottage at the same time. The crofter locked the door and put the key in his pocket. The man with the rat trap said goodbye and thank you, and thereupon each went his own way. But half an hour later, the rat trap peddler stood again before the door. He did not try to get in, however. He only went up to the window, smashed a pane stuck in his hand, and got hold of the pouch with the 30 kroner. He took the money and thrust it into his own pocket. Then he hung the leather pouch very carefully back in its place and went away. Now what happened the next morning when the old man got up, the peddler also got up, and after milking his cow and all, both are bidding farewell and each went their own way. But after half an hour, what happened? The rat trap peddler came back, and what he did, he is stealing the 30 kroner notes of that poor old man. As he walked along with the money in his pocket, he felt quite pleased with his smartness. He realized, of course, that at first he dared not continue on the public highway, but must turn off the road into the woods. During the first hours, this caused him no difficulty. Later in the day, it became worse, for it was a big confusing forest which he had gotten into. He tried to be sure to walk in a definite direction, but the paths twisted back and forth so strangely. He walked and walked without coming to the end of the wood, and finally he realized that he had only been walking around in the same part of the forest. All at once he recalled his thoughts about the world and the rat trap. Now his own turn had come. He had let himself be fooled by a bait and had been caught. The whole forest with its trunks and branches, its thickets and fallen logs, closed in upon him like an impenetrable prison from which he could never escape. Now, after stealing the money from the old man, he found it not safe to move in the highway, so he is shifting the journey to the forest. In the beginnings, he felt so pleased with his smartness, but later he lost his way in the forest. And now he realized that he himself had got caught in a rat trap, and he found it very tough to get out of that rat trap. Actually, he was tempted by that 30 kroner notes, and he found himself in an impenetrable prison from which he could not escape. It was late in December. Darkness was already descending over the forest. This increased the danger and increased also his gloom and despair. Finally, he saw no way out and he sank down on the ground, tired to death. Thinking that his last moment had come, but just as he laid his head on the ground, he heard a sound, a hard, regular thumping. There was no doubt as to what that was. He raised himself. Those are the hammer strokes from an iron mill. He thought there must be people nearby. He summoned all the strength, got up and staggered in the direction of the sound. So actually when the story takes place, it was late December and darkness was approaching soon and the forest was entirely dark and it increased the danger and the gloominess and despair of the peddler also increased and he saw no way out. Now he is sitting on the ground and he wanted to die and he thought his last moment came. At that instant he heard a sound and he realized that it is the sound of the hammer strokes from an iron mill. Now he is gathering his strength and he is moving towards the direction of the sound. The Ramsjo Iron Works, which are now closed down, were not so long ago a large plant with smelter, rolling mill and forge. In the summertime, long lines of heavily loaded barges and scows slid down the canal, which led to a large inland lake. And in the winter time, the roads near the mill were black from all the coal dust which sifted down from the big charcoal crates. During one of the long dark evenings just before Christmas, the master smith and his helper sat in the dark forge near the furnace waiting for the pig iron, which had been put in the fire, to be ready to put on the anvil. Every now and then one of them got up to stir the glowing mass with a long iron bar, returning in a few moments, dripping with perspiration, though, as was the custom, he wore nothing but a long shirt and a pair of wooden shoes. All the time there were many sounds to be heard in the forge. The big bellows groaned and the burning coal cracked. The fire boys snowballed charcoal into the mouth of the furnace with a great deal of clatter. Outside roared the waterfall and a sharp north wind whipped the rain against the brick tile roof. It was probably on account of all this noise that the blacksmith did not notice that a man had opened the gate and entered the forge until he stood close up to the furnace. Surely it was nothing unusual for poor vagabonds without any better shelter for the night to be attracted to the forge by the glow of light which escaped through the sooty panes and to come in to warm themselves in front of. Now, actually the iron mill that our peddler was talking about was the Ramsjo Iron Works, okay? And it was a very reputed institution from long time. The rails, the road work, all these are made from the iron manufactured in this company, in this factory. Okay, and the process of purifying the iron was going on there. The fire, the blacksmith glanced only casually and indifferently at the intruder. He looked the way people of his type usually did, with a long beard, dirty, ragged, and with a bunch of rat traps dangling on his chest. See, actually, they were so busy in their work that the blacksmith and the ironsmith was not at all noticing a man opening the gate and coming in and out. Actually, the poor people, the homeless used to come there to warm themselves in the hot furnace and all. So they, our peddler also had the same looks, like the long beard, dirty, ragged, and with a bunch of rat traps dangling on his chest. He asked permission to stay and the master blacksmith nodded a haughty consent without honoring him with a single word. The tramp did not say anything either. He had not come there to talk but only to warm himself and sleep. So the people over there are not saying anything. They are just giving him the consent to stay there and they are involved in their work. So the tramp, the homeless person, our peddler, is also not saying anything. He just came there to warm himself and sleep. In those days, the Ramsjo Iron Mill was owned by a very prominent ironmaster, whose greatest ambition was to ship out good iron to the market. He watched both night and day to see that the work was done as well as possible. And at this very moment, he came into the forge on one of his nightly rounds of inspection. Naturally, the first thing he saw was the tall ragamuffin who had eased his way so close to the furnace that steam rose from his wet rags. The ironmaster did not follow the example of the blacksmith, who had hardly deigned to look at the stranger. He walked close up to him, looked him over very carefully, then tore off his slouch hat to get a better view of his face. "But of course it's you, Niels Olof," he said. "How you do look." The man with the rat traps had never before seen the ironmaster at Ramsjo, and did not even know what his name was. But it occurred to him that if the fine gentleman thought he was an old acquaintance, he might perhaps throw him a couple of kroner. Therefore, he did not want to undeceive him all at once. "Yes, God knows things have gone downhill with me," he said. "You should not have resigned from the regiment," said the ironmaster. "That was the mistake. If only I had still been in the service at the time, it would have happened. Well, now of course you will come home with me." To go along up to the manor house and be received by the owner like an old regimental comrade, that however did not please the tramp. Now what happened? Actually, the Ramsjo iron mill was owned by a very prominent ironmaster. And what was his ambition? To ship the good iron to the market. So he used to inspect his factory during the nights and daytime. And at that night when he came, the first thing he noticed was our peddler. But unlike the blacksmith who dared to look at his face, he was a very merciful man. He went to him, moved his covering and had a look at his face closely. And he realized him, or mistook him for Niels Olof, one of his old acquaintance in the army, in the regiment. And he is asking the peddler, "Oh, you are Niels Olof." Now the rat trapper, the peddler, thought that if he says he is Niels Olof, he may get some kroner, some money from this ironmaster. So he is not correcting the mistake. And the ironmaster kept on saying that if he hadn't left the regiment, it wouldn't have happened to him. And the peddler also says that yes, it was my mistake to leave the regiment. And now at this point, the ironmaster is welcoming to his home. But the peddler was not having enough courage to go to the manor house. "No, I couldn't think of it," he said, looking quite alarmed. He thought of the 30 kroner to go up to the manor house would be like throwing himself voluntarily into the lion's den. He only wanted a chance to sleep here in the forge and then shriek away as inconspicuously as possible.